Welcome to Present Poetry, a podcast where we sit back, relax, and enjoy some poets of the past and present. I'm your host, Erin Crittenden, and before we get started on this week's episode, I want to remind you that all of the material used in this podcast is either public domain or used with permission from the author or the author's estate. It's a fun time for all ages, so sit back, relax, and get ready to hear this week's featured poet. This week's featured poet is H.L. Dowless. H.L. Dowless has been a writer for more than 30 years, and he also enjoys traveling, writing, and living life on the edge. We are reading a few of his poems that he submitted to us through the form at presentpoetry.com. This poem is called "This Special Town I at Long Last Found." Well, I left my job in the big city and hit the road. Got sick and tired of working for the man every night and day. So I commenced walking with nowhere in particular to go, allowing only a powerful sensation inside to guide my way. I had been headed about 50 miles out, and lo, I came to a wood and tin town down at an enchanting mountain base, a place where the thrills found in living has top clout, and nobody has anything to prove in their life ways. All the people there sit around chewing their tobacco and strumming their guitars, a few listening, kindly toss around some brass hard dollars and change. The people ride horses because there are no cars, laughing and talking since there is nobody to blame. I heard very true tales of high-rolling free-born adventure, rather than bemoaning sobs of laboring drudgery. Nobody there has any life-sapping indenture, while their words flow so freely, in absence of authoritarian censure. The food grows in trees and on bushes all around. Their meat dwells pleasantly in the woods about. There is no power, so there is no aggravating sound, unless one has problems with cheer-filled banjo folk when they dance and shout. Some travel on the river by a raft, crafting it from tied logs found in trees growing all around. Should one come a-lookin', that's where he'll find me at, whilst I pole around with nary a care nor frown. I make my living catching fish in a basket. I can buy 2 meals for a single hard dollar. I feel pity for those who search diligently for such a place, only to find their plain Jane casket, spending their free time pondering the lives of people like me, while in such a bitter rage they all scream and crassly holler. This poem is called "I Wanna Be Rich." I dream of finding treasure in a cave, an iron box filled to overflowing with golden coin, gem-laden necklaces, and glittering chalice. One day. If one can reap when he does the sowing, I never want to make a downward switch. I want to be rich. I want a room filled with gold I can wallow in like a hog, diving into, tossing handfuls up, allowing them to drop, like it's such a sin to do. I am telling all of you I have a great big itch. Hell, man, I want to be rich. I despise being average. I hate being poor. I deserve splendid leverage, since those are the ones all the good people really adore. I don't want any duty to society or to the pagan's rudimentary environment. Don't need no belaboring community call. All I want is gold-laden notoriety when I swing a rock-hard 24 and stand damn near 12 feet tall. I want to be rich, filthy, raggedy, slobber-mouthed, walking around with a squeaking, golden-threaded stitch. Damn, all you dirty, rotten dogs, I want to be rich. I want to be able to freely attend every hedonistic call. When I walk down Main Street, all the women lay lusting, weeping eyes on me, and before my elegant strut, they fall. Every man crawls up to me who I chance to meet, swearing I am the greatest thing him or anyone ever saw. I tell them to get it, boys, even if you have to cheat. All ambitious people really must concern themselves with is the law. Those who don't have it ain't got no secular hitch. Hell, man, I want to be rich. When the time arrives where I finally die, from many miles around they'll come. Every lady present will hang her head and cry, speaking of all the good I've done. There'll not be any type of soul taint. Oh Lord, the elaborate pictures they'll surely paint. Preachers shall stand before a vast murmuring crowd, declaring me a true-born saint, saying, look at all the magnificent things he's done, regardless of the grandeur glittering in my debauched fun, or the grandiose degree of my soul's dark taint. I'll write here as I stand and yell it all again, so damn loud, out of everything underneath the noonday sun. If the spirits can hear me when my declaration is spoken, with my vow to myself never to be broken, and I can make only a single wish, son, I don't mean to bitch, but hell man, I want to be rich. This poem is called They Smoke That Pipe. Her painted face was so pallid, her eyes held such dark circles, but you'll sing her sacred ballad while you leap through her well-designed hurdles. Her teeth were white and straight. There was a gap dead in the center, but you've already taken the alluring bait when you only dropped by to meet her. She dwelt on a small goat farm. She was her daddy's little 20-year-old girl. Boys, I won't spin you no yarn. She's eager to give you a good whirl. Her soldier pup got a satellite dish. You won't believe what they all liked watching. Many men could whisper their most debauched wish. Just don't allow anybody anywhere to catch you. Her attractive blonde-haired sister was really wild, and simply loved dropping down. She was the eldest child, a seasoned professional who was no damn clown. But how was I to know that I was being led into a trap? I proudly sauntered down with her to the old backwoods trailer house. When we both walked inside, there on that worn-out couch, her crazy sister was taking a nap. We stepped quietly as a mouse. Her sister immediately sat up. She told me to walk over there to the couch, so forward I moved with a stiff-legged strut. They both gazed into my eyes with a sudden demented smile, as they gradually melted towards the floor. Looking back, maybe I should have bolted out for a Texas mile, if only I'd known what horrors lay in store. Both loved to smoke that pipe. They licked the stem with an amazing gusto, and never the eggs out of any spite. There had been maybe 100 more in my place, but how was I to ever know? It felt so good I sensed the time must be right. Soon my mind flew into outer space. These vixens love to smoke that pipe, and I don't mean maybe. They do so with all their might. For them, it's second nature gravy. So, on down toward the floor they both go, my stiff stem lying there in between. The eldest tends to go real slow, but I swear the younger one is hungry and mean. They both smoke that pipe, even as the honey commences to flow. From evening to morning sunlight, for somebody somewhere, I sense they must be putting on a show. Stop in at the Black Oak Farm, and this you'll need to know. You shall be swayed by their elegant charms, while the carnal addiction then grows. Man, I won't tell you any yarn. You'll simply hand 'em all your damn money. If you step out with them into that hay barn, don't laugh, 'cause it ain't funny. Yeah, them gals love to smoke that peace pipe. They're the best of any I've ever found, from dusk all the way down into daylight, but don't you dare spread word of this round town. They labor as they moan and smack. Son, they'll have you begging to be broke, if first you don't have a heart attack and choke. This poem is called I Wanna Be a Beach Bum. Way up on a high beam, the job is ending. Angel asked what now I was going to do. Make a new beginning, I said, living a freeborn lifestyle I once knew. I'm gonna be a beach bum, drifting from couch to couch, living life playing volleyball out in the sun. Rum? Hell, man, I'll never be without. Small driftwood fires behind big sand dunes, sleeping soundly underneath a lonesome cottage porch, living from day to day in the month of June, fire lighting as we spear fish by a driftwood torch, digging holes when the waves surge in for seafood traps, leaving 5 or more mullet or blue crab when the waves go back out. Man, this style of living is where true life is at. On a palm-shaded beach is where I want to be, without a doubt. Playing volleyball all day long in the wind, having fun. Surfing on the next huge outgoing wave. Feeling cheerful beyond belief when one's day is finally done. Lord, man, don't hold me back. I can't wait. Being adopted by a tribe of older ladies. Running from bar to bar all night long. One of them pinning to be my study baby. In this lifestyle, I could never go wrong. Working day labor from time to time, otherwise living on the unemployment dole, spending it all on huge cases of beer and wine. Haas, this way of life never gets old. Making traps from castaway hardware cloth, catching flounder and red drum at a nearby salt marsh, cooking them up inside a dumpster-found boiling pot, savoring salmagundi soup made from seaweed, sand shark, and turtle parts. Spending rainy days listening to a reggae band inside open-air dive bars, sleeping underneath some abandoned cottage porch, hanging out in libraries, if not in a Mariner's museum yard, or underneath a bamboo shebang by a tiki torch. A beach bum is what I want to be, living a life that's wild and free. A beach bum, what a perfect adventure for me, finally fading away into a misty sunset, holding a chalice of fresh coconut juice and rum by the surging sea. This poem's called I Had an Interview with the Peace Corps Today. I had an interview with the Peace Corps today. I declare, it went so well, the interviewer seemed so easy to sway, I feel I made myself a huge sell. I had to initiate with a brief of my life, inform her of what I had been doing for so many long years. I told her all about my wife, and the many times I shed so many tears. The woman asked me about my travels. She wanted to know why with them I wanted to work. I was required to speak in regard to the times I'd failed, and how positively I interacted with ridiculous dumb jerks. I told her about my classroom experience, how I managed to instruct so many of varying skill levels. I mentioned that I had a special security clearance, and in regard to the manner I sleuthed to get the goods on conniving devils. Well, the lady smiled, telling me she liked what I had to say. Then she said the entire process might take a while, that the next step would only commence following today. She told me I would be going to Kosovo, a type of third world inside the first. A place where I was not familiar, and yet there weren't any people there I would know. Yet I am certain my knowledge would be enriched, and there my level of sophistication would surely grow. She told me I would have an invitation in 2 months, and for me to sit patiently by. This round with them might be my final stunt. 'Twill now be the 3rd time I've tried. I had an interview at the Peace Corps today. I do declare it went so well. I am at perfect ease, having little more to say, even if I never get to set sail. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Present Poetry Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, feel free to like us, leave a review, or share us on social media. If you are a poet or you know someone who is, we would love to hear from you. You can reach out to us or submit your work through our website, which is www.present-poetry.com. Again, that is www.present-poetry.com. We can't wait to hear from you.